are live from the Room 32 podcast. We're going to use this for our PLN today. And we just, Mr. Caldwell and I are constantly talking about pedagogy. We're talking about students, and we're talking about ways to, we commiserate. We talk about ways to make things better. It's so like that. We actually naturally have PLN all the time.
Absolutely. We always talk, what I say, we talk shop, and we enjoy talking shop. And it's a good process as a teacher to always reflect on teaching and to laugh at the things going well, and also to kind of take a deep breath about the things that don't go so perfectly.
Right. Yeah, that's totally true, because in this crazy sphere of whatever we're doing, there's things that go wrong every single day, every second.
Yes,
just it's nonstop. But at the same time, there's some incredible things that happened, and it all balances out.
Absolutely. So we decided today that maybe I would be asking Mr. Raya most of the questions, because usually when you do these things, you ask other people questions.
This is true.
So the spotlight is on Mr. Raya. Look how nervous he looks right now. You look very calm. I'm the one that's nervous. I'm not used to doing this. So anyway, here's the first question.
Okay.
Years ago, you decided to become a teacher. Now, this is a long answer, but if you were to summarize why you decided to become a teacher, over 20 years ago, what is a couple things that come to mind? Well,
the first one is that I'm going to talk about why I didn't want to do it first.
Okay.
Because I knew it was like on the radar. My mom was a teacher. My aunt was a teacher. There were other teachers in my on that side of the family, and I knew that was a possibility. But the workload I knew was enormous, and I was a terrible student.
Yeah.
So how was I going to be a teacher when I knew that it was going to be 150 times as much as what I was putting out? I mean, consistently bad student from seventh grade on. I don't know how I made it. So that was a fear of mine, was managing the incredible workload of the teacher. But there's been a couple of things, and this is just anecdotes along the way that have helped me get through this workload, because it is tremendous. The first one comes from Jeff Stanley, and Jeff Stanley says, you should never work harder than your students. And, I look at Jeff Stanley and I see an amazing and great educator. And for him to say that, I think it was a little refreshing for me.
Yeah.
And then, other teachers have said, that the work is never, ever going to stop. Yeah. It's never going to stop. And if you go home, you can work to the nth degree to try to make things as perfect as possible for the next day. You can grade to the nth degree. There is a law of diminishing returns that applies here.
Yeah.
And so you have to learn when to cut it off.
Yeah.
And so those two things have helped me become a teacher. But as looking towards what were the influences for me, the job that I had after college was incredibly boring. And the people that I was working for, I just didn't like to have that type of management in my life with those people who were my supervisors. And I needed a lot more leeway, and I needed way more creativity, and I needed something that where I was in charge, really. Yeah. And also I needed validation, and I wasn't getting that. Yeah. So that's one of the things. And then a second thing that really pushed me through was all the coaching experience that I'd had after high school, and even during in high school with the wrestling team and with other athletics that I was doing. I just enjoyed being around the competitors and helping them realize their successes, and for me, that was that camaraderie that I had built with those people, that was more important than anything else that I had gotten on in my had done in my life at that point. So I knew that teaching would help give me all of the things that I wanted in a job.
Yeah, that's cool. My answer to that is probably going to be shorter, but there's, as you know me very well, I overthink everything. But there's 2 times in my life where I just felt it was the right decision. One is when I met my wife and asked her to marry me.
That's awesome.
So, I asked her out, and I was never the type of person to ask people out. And I did. Was out of character, and we're still married. And the other time is when I decided to become a teacher, where I thought, you know what? I just know in my gut this is what I should do. And it was the right decision. Here it is 30-something years later, and I'm still doing it. And I always felt with the job that it just gave me joy. I love the challenge. I love like 95% of the job. The parts I don't like are usually just Xerox machines and grading papers. But in terms of interacting with my colleagues, but especially the students, 99.9% of the time, it just makes me happy, even when it's tough. And I know you're very similar. The parts of the job that are challenging, which is the relationships and the trying to make a lesson great, whether we succeed or not, the process and the effort is just really, it's fun, actually.
It's fun. It is.
And even when it's not fun, it's still, I don't know, it's still a wonderful process all these years later.
It is. Yeah. I love the fun. Let's talk about that, like the fun. My mom had always said, like during some times when I was depressed in my life, she's like, Isaac, if you just start working, this is like, it goes back to like me being a bad student. If you just start working, you're going to find some joy in that. And I just, looked at her, sideways, and, woman, she was right. And I see it with the kids, right? Like when we accomplish something together, specifically in KTV, like when we finish that show, man, those kids are so happy.
Yeah.
And we talked about that just today after our episode, is like how happy those kids were that they had produced something, that they had worked super hard independently, and it all came together, and like they were super happy. So
that's great.
Yeah, working with the students and them accomplishing things is that is fun.
Yeah. That's me with the plays. We just did plays last week, and tremendous amount of energy and work on everyone's part, including the teacher. I went home exhausted. But when I thought about those 5 classes, there was the individual achievement by everyone, and then there was the group that came together. Everyone did their little part and created something that we all mostly giggled at. So it's a good feeling, yeah. So what are some other things that give you joy as a teacher besides KTV?
There's so many little things. I mean, seeing the kids outside of school is always fun for me. At first, when I was a beginning teacher, I didn't want to do that, but now that I've been here for a while and established, like it's fun to see the kids outside, and especially in their element.
Yeah.
So like today after school, there's the girls' basketball game that I would love to go see, and to go watch them in their element outside of the classroom it's just really fun to be around. So that's one little thing that gives me joy. Again, seeing all of my colleagues and talking with them about teaching is like really, really fun, and it gives me a lot of joy, especially talking with Casey Stolpe. Actually, he's one of my favorite people to talk about school with. And then the solidarity sometimes that happens with some of the staff, that's just really great. Yeah.
I know some people, as you know, who would not want to live in the same community they teach in. I'm thinking of someone who, I'm not going to say his name, and he thinks we're crazy that we live in Petaluma and work in Petaluma. But I'm the same way. When I'm out and I see students, just it happened to me on Saturday, I was with Mr. Radke, the wonderful 8th grade science teacher, and I saw a student named Matthew, and he was in a French bakery. And of course, I wasn't just going to wave at him. I'm just going to go over and talk to him for 5 minutes. I think part of the time he was overwhelmed and I embarrassed him, but most of the time it was just really fun to interact with someone outside the classroom and just go, hey, Matthew, hey, Mr. Caldwell. So, I love living and working in Petaluma, and you do too. And you live on the east side. I live on the west side, so you have much more.
Yeah, I see them all the time.
Go buy some milk at Safeway, and there's one of your
and
students.
They see me all the time riding around in my spandex because I love to ride my bicycle. So I warned them in the very beginning of school. I'm like, hey, if you see me riding on my bicycle, look away because you don't want to see.
Are we gonna have to edit that part out?
No, I'm going to keep
Can
it.
you add a video? No,
I am a
don't add.
very proud cyclist.
I walk a lot, so people will. I'll be walking down the street in Petaluma, and someone will honk and yell Caldwell, and here I'm in a baseball hat, and I feel like no one notices me and recognizes me. And but we're kind of celebrities. We're kind of special in this town. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Especially Stolpe, though. Stolpe's more special.
Yeah, he is. He's the Banana Republic model. So
He is, and then Ragke's.
he just does this
too.
on the side, right?
Yeah, when he sees someone, he doesn't like wave. He just kind of does, as he should, in his salmon shirt.
Yeah.
We love making fun of Stolpe. Can we just do a whole podcast about Mr. Casey Stolpe?
I would love to do one. Okay, any more questions?
I want to come up with one more to wrap.
Yeah,
it up.
let's do one more.
What's a good one? I was going to ask you what you're going to miss when you retire, but you still have like 10 more years.
I got at least 10 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you look forward to throughout the rest of your career? Now, I know you're probably going to say, well, more of the same, but what's something else as you go into the last 10 to 15 years of your teaching career that you're really looking forward to or have a goal for or whatever?
Well, the introduction of new things is a big deal for me, right? To keep things fresh, right? Always to try to keep things fresh and to work towards goals. So just like this type of equipment, my old student teacher, Ryan Markey, who's now been teaching for, I think, 5 years. I mean, it's he and I have been talking about having a podcast forever, and now this is manifested, right? I mean, I've got this equipment. Thank you very much, PTSA, for the donation of this, this amazing setup. It's professional. It's a road setup. Bringing this stuff into the classroom to be able to talk with students individually about curriculum and what just random stuff about what's been going on in their lives. If you've watched the podcast, you know that we've talked about random stuff. This is fun for me. So this is the type of stuff that I do look forward to. I am looking to change things up a little bit, and I've talked to you about that for a while. And the possibility of me changing into a different role of teaching, I think that's on the horizon. Whether it's teaching the broadcast at CASA and individual classes that lead up to the broadcast at CASA, or whether it's going outside and going to a university to get a master's degree and further, so that I can do something a little bit different, but still within the scope of teaching. I think that these things are exciting for me. Yeah. Anytime that I introduce a new lesson is exciting. Any new techniques that I get that I can see that I would use, I think that's exciting for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
How about you?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, as I get older as a teacher and more years, I used to try to create the perfect lesson, and now it's all about, I focus on relationships. How can I more fully support students, not only in the curriculum, but also just in how I interact with them every day? I was thinking about that recently. Like 10 years ago, I was still really focusing on the history, and the history is important. Right. Standards are important. Skills are important. Writing, reading, all that stuff. But it's really important, especially these days with a lot of kids struggling with mental health, a lot of adults too, just to feel supported, to support them in however I can. And I know I'm not the only teacher trying to do that. So, that's what I focus on. But I don't know. Maybe I should start doing some podcasts too.
I think this is fun. I mean, I'm going to show you just one real quick one right afterwards, but it's a fun thing, and I think it just enhances the types of relationships that we have in our class, and and puts the focus on a student. So
and here you and I are talking about education, and of course we have a lot of combined years of teaching. We have a lot of knowledge, but sometimes the real big information about education and teaching and being at a school is listening to students. And that's something else I try to do too, even if it's just little bits of information. So this is great because you ask a student a question, you sit back, you listen and see what they say and how they say it. There's a lot to learn from that. So
excellent. Well, thank you very much for being on the podcast, Mr. Caldwell. And I think that I might send this to our admin. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Or it's definitely going to be posted. So
They're going to want to watch it because we are amazingly astute and intelligent and shockingly beautiful, even when we're not on our bikes.
I can't believe it, really. Every day.
I'm just looking at the screen right now. I'm like, wow.
As my uncle would say, tomorrow's going to be an even better day because every day I get better looking.
It's funny because it's true.
It's funny.
To quote Mr. Stolpe,
because
it's funny
true.
because it's true. Okay. Oh, fade out music.